Looks like we are over the target. On Friday, the California Democratic Speaker of the State Assembly removed me, a state assembly member, from the State Budget Committee because we were exposing corruption, waste, fraud, and abuse of Democrat politicians. Coming up, I'll tell you what happened, how we're fighting back to DOGE California, and how you can help me get the job done. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state legislator representing District 75 in the California State Assembly. And until Friday at 5 o'clock, I was a member of the California State Assembly Budget Committee. But that all ended at 5 o'clock on Friday when the Democrat Speaker, Robert Rivas, quietly issued a memo. 5 o'clock on Friday, when no one is at work, removing me from the State Budget Committee. Why? I was only on the Budget Committee for 4 weeks. I'm a freshman legislator. I'd only gone to 2 hearings, although I was very active at those 2 hearings in grilling state bureaucrats and exposing waste, fraud, and abuse. And that is why I was removed from the State Budget Committee. The Speaker knew that I had announced that we were going to use the Budget Committee assignment that I was given to do my job as your representative. And I think my job on the Budget Committee is to look at the budget, is to ask the tough questions. Are we getting a good bang for the buck? Is this an efficient and an appropriate and proper use of state taxpayer money? Is there a way that we can do things better? And of course, is there evidence of corruption with public monies through the state budget? You should want me, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or somewhere in between. Every California taxpayer should want every member of the state assembly asking these sorts of questions when the budget for state government is brought before us, particularly because we face a multi-billion-dollar budget deficit this year. I had announced that we were going to DOGE California, and the Speaker didn't like that. And so he retaliated against us. And in a moment, I'm going to share with you some clips. And once you watch these clips of me at the Budget Committee and what we were exposing, you'll understand that this is indeed retaliation, and they're trying to shut us up. They're trying to silence us. Now, before I go on and show you the clips, I need your help. Because even though I've been removed from the Budget Committee, I'm not going to back down. I'm going to double down. We absolutely are going to continue to DOGE California and shine a light on the California corruption and wasteful spending in the state budget. But I'm going to need your help more than ever. You see, our California DOGE project, which if you want to get the information on it, go to cadoge.org, cadoge.org, or go in to reformcalifornia.org and click under the top story there. Reform California launches effort to DOGE California, and there you got that little cute mascot for DOGE. It lays out how we are going to DOGE California. Please go to that website and sign up so you can get updates. Go to the bottom, first name, last name, email, phone, and zip code. But what we're doing with DOGE California is we're doing a 2-track process. We were using my State Assembly Budget Committee position to grill government agencies every time they showed up with their budget. And of course, I have staff to do research, to frame questions. But we also, because we don't have a big staff in the state legislature, we are having outside experts do research. We are doing that through Reform California. And we're shining a light on these government programs, looking through audits, framing questions, talking to whistleblowers, doing investigations. And all that's being funded through our Reform California organization on the outside. And we're looking at various areas: outrageous salaries and benefits for bureaucrats, taxpayer money funding radical left-wing groups, illegal immigrant healthcare and welfare handouts, taxpayer goodies for them, rigged government contracts and boondoggles like the high-speed rail project, and hidden and illegal taxes, and so much more. These are just the top 5 areas. We're looking at everything. And of course, as I mentioned, we're taking tips from people like you, whistleblowers who see waste, fraud, and abuse in state or local government. If you believe that this work needs to be done, that we need to shine a light on government, Now that I'm off the budget committee, I need you to double down and have my back. Go to the website, reformcalifornia.org or cadoge.org, cadoge.org, not .com, and chip in a contribution to the effort. We are no longer on the budget committee. We're still doing the project, but it means we need more outside help more than ever. I need you to invest in this effort. If you are pissed with the Democrats for trying to silence me by retaliating against me and punishing me for asking tough questions on the budget committee, send them a message. Chip in. We're going to announce how much money we've raised in the 24-hour period now that I've been removed from the budget committee. And I want the Democrats to know your bullying tactics to try to silence me, your punishment of removing me from the budget committee had no effect because California taxpayers want this analysis and they're helping us from the outside and we're doubling down. So go to that website, reformcalifornia.org, and chip in a contribution. Now, as I mentioned, I was put on the budget committee and I was surprised I was put on the budget committee because for the last 30 years, I've been an outside government watchdog, the head of Reform California. I started a company in 1999 and built it up to the largest good government group in the nation, the Performance Institute. We audit government programs looking for waste, fraud, and abuse. We were Doging government before Doge was popular. And so when they put me on the budget committee in January, I was kind of surprised. Do they not know who they're getting on this budget committee? I actually thought, wow, maybe they want to give us an opportunity to kick the tires and shine a light on the budget. Maybe they value having a member of the legislature, even a member of the opposition party, looking at budgets with a fine-tooth comb. No, I just think that they didn't put two and two together. I mean, Democrats are not very smart. They're corrupt to the core, but not very smart, these politicians. So I show up to the budget committee hearings, and I'm going to play two clips from you for you. We don't have a whole lot of time, but there are a number of clips on my social media account. Go to my Twitter handle x.com, Carl DeMaio. And these budget clips on 10 or 15 topics that we've posted range the gamut of wasteful spending in the Department of Labor on hiring investigators to go to homes and people's backyards to look for unsafe conditions for landscapers and housekeepers. No, I'm not making this crap up. That's what they were doing. To lying about the true size of our budget deficit. The governor says we have a surplus. We presented all the data and information proving that we had a massive multi-billion-dollar deficit this year, that they're using Enron-style accounting gimmicks. So all these topics, and we were getting a lot of national news. So this first one, Fox News, skyrocketing healthcare budget for illegal immigrants haunts blue state taxpayers. California GOP lawmaker tells Fox News Digital Sacramento is doubling down on reckless spending. So here's the first clip I want to share with you. It's at the budget committee hearing, and we exposed the state of California putting in money into illegal immigrant healthcare. They said it was $6 billion, but it was actually much more. Listen in. Amount just for the healthcare. Do we have coverage from this last budget? Increase of $6.3 billion, but my spending in this year's budget on illegal immigrant service, shaking the tree on. How much money are we spending in this year's budget on illegal immigrant services? Let's just start with healthcare. The number in the budget said an increase of $6.3 billion, but my numbers suggest that the number is far higher than that, that was added coverage from this last budget cycle, not the total amount just for the healthcare. Do we have? By the way, I show up with the research already done. I already have the receipts in my pocket. I'm asking questions of these state government officials in these hearings, knowing the answer already, but I want to pin them down and get them to admit in the record what waste, fraud, and abuse, what grift and corruption we've uncovered. And so they know I know the answer because they were surprised. They looked at me like, holy cow, how does he know? And the whole concept was Newsom said it was $6 billion to cover illegal immigrants and that we were going to get that reimbursed from the federal government. He lied. It was actually $9.5 billion, and $8.5 billion of that came not through reimbursements from the federal government, but came from you, a state taxpayer, through the general fund, such that 1 out of 4 state Medi-Cal dollars in the general fund goes to an illegal immigrant. Here's the response when I said, how much are we really spending on illegal immigrant healthcare? Because what you told us wasn't true. I know the real number. Let's get it on the record. Of an actual number of illegal immigrant healthcare that the state taxpayers are covering in this year's budget.
Guadalupe Manriquez with the California Department of Finance. So in the current year, to cover undocumented individuals in Medi-Cal, we're spending $9.5 billion total funds.
So it's not the $6 billion that people continue to talk about in the media. It's $9.5 billion.
That was a Budget Act number. This is a revised number based on the governor's budget updated estimates. So of the $9.5 billion, $8.4 billion is general fund.
$8.4 billion in general funds. So that's, well, if we cut that, at least using your math, we'd have a $1 billion surplus, my friends. We wouldn't have to go into the rainy day fund. And this is what I'm pointing out is that the governor says we have a surplus. I said you're rating the rainy day fund to the tune of $8 billion, $7.5 billion. And that's your real budget deficit that we have to close. I think it's actually higher than that. But even using the official math of the government, rating our reserves, which means that you don't have enough income to cover your expenses, that's what we call a deficit. If you cut the illegal immigrant healthcare in the general fund, you get yourself a $1 billion surplus. So that exposed how much taxpayers are actually spending just on one item for illegal immigrants, one element of taxpayer-funded handouts, and they get a whole lot more than just that. Then we found a COVID-19 program in the state budget. Oh, I'm not making this crap up. We investigated this program because who in the hell has a COVID-19 outreach program in 2025, spending $25 million projected to continue to be in existence all the way for the next 4 years till 2029? I suspected something more than just idiocy was going on here. We suspected corruption. And that's exactly what we found. Listen in. So, again, I thought the staff were playing a joke on me this morning when they said, you're going to have the COVID-19 workplace outreach project come before your committee today and ask for $25 million of funding. That's going to go all the way through 2029. And I said, what next? Are we going to get a black and white tube TV regulatory program coming before us asking to regulate that long gone product? I cannot believe that in 2025, with a multi-billion-dollar state deficit, where you're raising taxes and cutting citizen services, that anyone would have the audacity to come before us and ask for $25 million for funding till 2029 for a COVID-19 outreach project. I mean, I'm looking at your annual report, glossy. During the last 12 months, funds were allocated to 76 community-based organizations to reach communities disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. The fact that we have a COVID-19 outreach program surviving past 2021 is a problem. Most Californians would probably look at this saying, COVID-19, that's like so yesterday. Thank goodness it's so yesterday. But not up here in Sacramento where we're pumping limited taxpayer money into this program. Here's the kill shot. Here it comes. These 76 community-based organizations, I looked at each of the organizations. I had my staff pull their IRS filings, go examine their websites. And it is clear that most of these organizations do not have the qualifications, the performance criteria for labor relations or workplace safety or workplace outreach. Many of them are unions, okay? I would say, okay, arguably, they would claim that they have the ability to do that, but I would say that they perhaps are a partisan organization with one point of view, a special interest, getting funding from the taxpayers. They basically want to use government funding to go unionize all workplaces. That's what they're doing. But how can taxpayers not conclude anything other than the fact that this is a slush fund to fund left-wing organizations? Let me read some of these organizations that you're giving money to. And again, you're asking for millions of dollars in a tight budget environment. organizations like Congregations Organized for Prophetic Engagement, which is engaged in ballot harvesting during elections. Why are we funding that organization in the name of COVID-19 workplace safety when they're engaging in harvesting of ballots? Is the funding going to politics? How about Ring to Democracy? We looked at Ring to Democracy, empowering youth through civic engagement. Have a whole program that they fund on voter engagement and empowerment campaigns. They're not COVID-19 or healthcare experts. They're not workforce safety experts. They're a political organization, and nothing is wrong with them being a political organization. They have First Amendment rights with their own money, not with taxpayer money. Another organization, Alianza Coachella Valley, which holds political candidate forums. They lobby on legislation. Or ACCE, Alliance for Californians for Community Empowerment, a rent control group. Or Center for Community Advocacy. They do community organizing and political forums with various populations. Or the CRLA Foundation or the Mixteco Indigena Community Organizing Project. Sorry, all these organizations usually have something about community organizing in their name. Both organizations which fund illegal immigrants to fight the federal government to stay into this country. I went on and on and on listing these organizations out. I told them I wanted a copy of all the contracts and grants sent to my office. As a budget committee member, I have the right to audit that and ask for that. After that hearing, we were told, you crossed the line. You asked too many questions. That if they had actually started warning my staff, hey, he better not be kicking the tires too much or else we'll take him off the budget committee. And I told my staff, I'm doubling down. I'm going to ask as many damn questions as I need to get the taxpayers what they deserve, a right to know on what's going on with their taxpayer money. And that's why Democrats on Friday night at 5 o'clock removed me from the budget committee. They knew that I wasn't going to stop poking and prodding, auditing and investigating and exposing their racket, their corruption, their money laundering. There's no other word for this besides money laundering. You say it's a program for government, COVID-19, and it's nothing but a shell game to get money to political organizations to boost left-wing candidates and causes. Look, we got retaliated against. I'm not surprised. They're bullies. They're trying to silence us. But I'm not going to back down. And in order for me to continue, though, I need you to have my back. I'm not on the budget committee, but we have an absolute strategy to go from the outside and expose the waste, fraud, abuse, and corruption. Help me do that. Go to the website, reformcalifornia.org, chip in a contribution. Go to cadoge.org. Help us out. If you can't contribute, at least sign up to stay informed on our movement. And so you can share all the press releases and news articles that we generate exposing waste, fraud, and abuse, because we got to educate all voters in California. Go to the website, reformcalifornia.org. Go to the bottom of the website and sign up. First name, last name, email, phone, and zip code so that you are part of our growing movement to hold California state and local government accountable. They can take me off the budget committee. They're not going to silence me. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue to shine a big old spotlight on their greed, grift, corruption, and wasteful spending. With your help, I can do that. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, a California state representative, and no longer a member of the California State Assembly Budget Committee. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.